Well, good evening, David. Thank you very much. And also, too, thank you, Dean Hubbard, Glenn, for your kind remarks earlier and for giving me the opportunity to be honored tonight. It's really extraordinary. And also, too, I think as the non-Columbia Business School guy, I can be the person to say, let's take one last round of applause for 100 years and think about the next 100 years. Under the leadership of Dean Hubbard, Columbia Business School is thriving and making important contributions to our understanding of finance, economics, business, and public policy. Over the past century, Columbia Business School has trained leaders who saw the nation through numerous business cycles, all kinds of different turbulence, strong economies, weak economies, and also through technological transformation. From the industrial age to now, really, a knowledge and information age, Columbia has had a hand on the pulse and on the tiller to help students be prepared for the future, and we and all of society are the beneficiaries of that. Let me also recognize the job that President Bollinger is doing, although not with us tonight. The importance of research universities today, I can't imagine, is ever greater than in the history of our country. They're a special American institution, and they're a place that really plies forward with persistence and durability that are really not characterized by many institutions at all, and Columbia is a beacon and an icon of all things good by research universities. Congratulations, Columbia. Let me also, it's also exciting, too, to see the first steps of the Manhattanville campus coming to life. While the two buildings are now open, we know that just around the corner are the two new buildings and the convening center that will be the center for the new vision of what Columbia Business School can be. It's all exciting to me in lots of ways, and also to have the nexus of art and neuroscience right there at the campus makes all kinds of sense, because the creativity and the understanding of how we think and learn all fits in with the ultimate mission of what we who care about business education think is important. Let me also acknowledge the leadership of the Board of Overseers here, Henry Kravis and Art Sandberg, for the leadership that they do. I'll also have to say, for me, it's especially an honor to be with the other two honorees tonight who have done so very much. Robert, with his courage that all entrepreneurs have to have, Robert Refkin, and then Robert Smith, with his vision as an investor who's seeing things happening in software that others haven't, and seeing around the corner, imagining how we can apply enterprise software to change businesses, encourage growth, create jobs, and returns for the people that have trusted him with their fiduciary capital. Both of them are quite impressive, and it's really terrific for me to be here with them. You know, I want to talk for just a minute, and I promise not too long. This is recognition, talks about government, and I really think about it as public policy, and I feel like I learned a lot by having the ability to move from the private sector to the public sector. You know, I came by this as David mentioned, that I worked at Goldman Sachs for 30 years. During the period of my 30 years at Goldman Sachs, there were 6 senior partners. And if you look at the accomplishments of those senior partners, you have 1 Deputy Secretary of State, 2 Secretaries of the Treasury, 1 Governor, 1 Senator, and 2 heads of the National Economic Council. So as a young kid that started at Goldman Sachs and had this example of leadership going back and forth between the two, it made a strong impression. And for me, it was always something that had a resonance and something that I was excited about. People asked me after I'd worked in public service, what's the difference between private and public sector? And you know, I thought about it and I tried to get a catchy phrase, and the one I've come up with is the skill set's the same, but the mindset's different. And what I mean by that is the skill set of analyzing puzzles, thinking about probabilities, thinking about investment, thinking about responsibility. That's all the same. But there are differences too. And to understand them, and maybe they'll help you think about it, is that the process itself takes a different mindset. the government moves more slowly and it's more complex. And that's completely appropriate, especially when making decisions that involve public finance. Also, the federal government is designed to be slow-moving with lots of checks and balances, so before we move ahead, we have consensus, and we've been really sure to protect the rights of every individual. So the fact that things move slowly and more deliberation isn't a problem, it's the reality of the rules of that game. But that doesn't mean things can't get done in government, and don't be discouraged. I found that by people that I worked with, whether it was Hank Paulson during the crisis, and in some ways, someone who's an idol for me in so many ways was the privilege of working with Mayor Michael Bloomberg. Michael Bloomberg's strategy was consistently that we had to think less about consumption and more about investment on behalf of the 8.3 million New Yorkers. And the idea of thinking about economic diversification, his answer, applied sciences. Quality of life, his answer was parks, infrastructure, reducing crime, quality of air, and quality of health. Economic growth, Mayor Bloomberg recognized supporting small businesses and streamlining permitting was ultimately important. It's really been a privilege for me to have the chance to work in public service for Mayor Bloomberg, for Secretary Paulson. It wasn't something I ever imagined, but as I said, I had examples set for me by great leaders, and to them, I'm very, very grateful and always will be. So let me just conclude by saying I think that, as Glenn said, the people leaving Columbia Business School were prepared, his words, were to tackle the most problematic and important issues on the planet, quote Dean Glenn Hubbard about an hour ago. So here, all of us need to think about how to reduce global poverty, how we in the West will add new jobs to replace those that are being automated or competed away, how to be smart about global integration, how to combat diseases, now develop solutions that benefit the economy and the environment. And to also be sure that all of our children and the children to come have the opportunity for extraordinary educations. These are issues that are issues of public policy, but will be solved by the skills that we can learn at institutions such as Columbia Business School. So let me just say in conclusion, thank you very much for your graciousness in giving me the chance to speak with you tonight. I wish you good luck, and thank you so very, very much.